everyone. The Chief of Defence Staff is blaming failing family system for the increase in insecurity in Nigeria, for the increase in insecurity and all of that. And this is being reported by Daily Post. It says the Chief of Defence Staff, CDS, Christopher Musa, says loss of family values is responsible for rising insecurity in Nigeria. The defense chief declared that strengthening family values is crucial to addressing insecurity in Nigeria. So I'm going to pause here a little bit before I go on. Yes, there's a place where, unfortunately, the family values in our country is really going down. We're finding a situation whereby criminality is being upheld by families as long as money is coming in. You're finding that in your family, if you don't have money, you don't have a voice, you're treated anyhow. Even when the monies come from, means that are not right. You are finding issues like they're talking about Yahoo boys having more should I say standing, more relevance in the society, accorded more relevance in the society than people who are working hard. I saw a skit just yesterday where some lady was talking about, oh, when somebody is going with different sets of people, how they dress. You saw the ones going out with politicians, the one going out with Yahoo, the ones going out with tech, and then had the ones going out with 9 to 5, and they were like, oh, dressed in a very just wrap around the chest in a tattered way and say, oh no, nobody wants to go out with 9 to 5. So it's almost as if you're doing something wrong just by you doing, being law abiding in Nigeria. We get that. But I would say there is a whole lot more that leads to the rising insecurity than on the issue of family values, to the extent that, yes, in as much as the family value system has really broken, but not to the extent that when we're talking about insecurity, we are really putting that at the forefront. First of all, there is the issue of lack of jobs, you understand, lack of education. If the government was able to provide free quality education, primary and secondary, that would go a long way in combating insurgency at itself, because most of the terrorists do prey on the fact that people are not educated. And when you're talking about education, it doesn't only mean Western education, it equally means Islamic education or any form of education or handwork or something. Then the other thing, of course, you're also looking at the issue of employment. Do people have jobs? When people they leave their school or they finish with schooling, they've graduated, they are adults, do they have jobs that they can do that they will be able to afford a decent living? So these are also some of the things, that really do cause the insecurity that we have. Well, when people don't have, then they tend to now go into crime and criminality. You're also seeing the issue of the out of school children that we currently have. I saw a tweet yesterday when someone, with the incident that happened last over the weekend. I think it was this week, early this week, that we had that incident where the Arise TV reporter ended up, was killed following a robbery attack in their places in her house. And somebody did a tweet and say, you see, because so different people were recalling how senseless the killings are becoming. And that someone said that, oh, they just came in, a young girl who had finished school, they stabbed her, she died. Another person said that was their a cousin of theirs. So there were different reports, because somebody was asked, why can't they just steal and leave the person? Because for one, I always see, why would you, it's almost like you killing your customer. Leave the person. Tomorrow the person will hustle again for you to come and steal from. Why would you just kill the person, take that person out? Because that's what usually would happen. And somebody did a tweet which was very instructive, and what the person said in that tweet was that, look, those people that you see on the out of school children and marginals, whatever, who some of them are not going to school, not going for anything, are probably on drugs and whatever. Now they are adults, and that's why they can kill, without feeling anything. And it's so factual, because some of these children have never known love in their life. Some of them, as young as 3 years old, 2 years old, they were thrown on the street. They had to fend for themselves. They never saw love. Nobody ever showed them love. They saw the worst of humans. When they are coming there, you drive them away. You treat them, in very inhumane manner. So they don't know what love is. They don't know what empathy is, because nobody has ever shown their empathy. And so they grow up to be this, these people who we kill without even thinking twice about it. And so beyond that, all of this one is to say the military itself, it's a problem. The military itself is a reason why insecurity, it's increasing. You're talking of in terms of the corruption that is going on in the military, in terms of lack of uh, competent leadership that is given to within that military to the soldiers. You're talking about how sabotage is going on within the military. There are a whole lot of this, and also the fact that the relationship between civilians and the military, it's not one of trust. It's one of oppression. It's one of going after people, suppressing the people. So there's no exchange of, what do you call it now, intelligence. Even if you have intelligence, the last person that you're thinking about going to meet is a military officer or someone to tell them what's happening, because if you are the one that will not end up being picked, or they will even tell the terrorists, because a lot of people have complained of that, where they pass information, to security agents, and before you know what's happening, the terrorists also now find part of those they now have that information of who came to snitch on them, and they go on to take those people out. But coming back, Musa stated this on Thursday at the closing of the 2025 edition of exercise Haskebu. In Hausa, that means like second lightning, at the Armed Forces Commander Staff College AFCSC in Jaji, Kaduna. The exercise focused on family values, civic duties, and moral resilience as core elements in security challenges facing Nigeria and other participating nations. Today, you're seeing generals, the kind of wealth that they have. It's mind-boggling. And you're even seeing the ones that are being accused of corruption. Nothing comes out of it. Definitely, it's going to break down the family system when people are seeing the ones that are working hard, doing the right thing. They are the ones who are suffering, and the ones who are doing corruption happen to be the ones who are enjoying. So it makes then the corruption look attractive. There's no punishment for corruption. Rather, there is reward for it. He said, what we have realized is that because the family system is failing, insecurity is growing, which means if we address the family issues, insecurity will go down. Musa emphasized that families must instill discipline, respect, and love in their words, noting that these values shape, responsible citizens. Yes, it does shape responsible citizens, but there's also a place where there's a need for justice and equity. You understand? If we have that in our country, to go a long way in ensuring we have the right kind of people, fighting the insecurity, and ensuring that it becomes a thing of the past, and citizens know that if you do things that are wrong, you definitely will pay the price for it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.